Welcome to Kogen Sunday Service. This video series is designed to help all of us with a spiritual anchor, a new perspective, to help us define and overcome the events and circumstances that are going on right now. I want to thank you so much for clicking on this. Thank you for joining us. There's a couple of other videos that we've done in the past weeks. If you look below in the link, you'll probably see those. Feel free to hit those up. The title of this video series is Spiritual Defense. The spiritual defense has a threefold purpose. The first is to defend ourselves against the worry, against the anxiety, and against the depression that this time can bring. Secondly, it's to disarm the powers of darkness, to disarm the lies that are being told right now so that we can seek and find truth. And lastly, it's to defeat and conquer that darkness and to live free and victoriously. So again, I want to thank you guys so much for being here. I want to thank Kogen Self-Defense Academy for the opportunity to make these videos, to get them out, and to give you guys just a lifeline, to give you guys something to stand on. I hope that you've been getting some new perspective, some new insight as we've been taking time and going through these things. And if that's you and you have questions or you have thoughts or you have comments, I would love to hear from you. My email is listed right below. You can also find me on Facebook, on Messenger, or just on our pages. Feel free to hit me up. I would love to talk to you. Today, we're going to talk about fundamentals. What are fundamentals? Simply put, a fundamental is a rule or a principle that something is based on. In application, it is the way something works. We use this term a lot when we talk about combat, don't we? We talk about balance and stance, leverage and position. These principles of the foundation of combat are so important that you've probably heard one of the instructors say, if you can't get the fundamentals right, you can't move on to anything else. Fundamentals are your foundation. Fundamentals allow us to grow in our theory and application of knowledge. Fundamentals are the principles that allow us to grow, to build, to create, and to progress. As we link the fundamentals of combat to the foundational truths of spiritual defense, we're going to find that these realities drive our attitude and agenda. They drive our priorities and our perspective. In application, this reminds me of a story in the Bible that was written about two women, two sisters, who find themselves in the presence of Jesus. I want to read you this story, so stay with me. You'll see it scrolling on the side there as I read from the book of Luke, chapter 10. It says, as Jesus and his disciples were on their way, he came to a village where a woman named Martha opened her home to him. She had a sister called Mary who sat at the Lord's feet listening to what he said. But Martha was distracted by all the preparations that had to be made. She came to him and asked, Lord, why don't you care that my sister has left me to do the work by myself? Tell her to help me. Martha, Martha, the Lord answered, you are worried and upset about many things, but few things are needed, or indeed only one. Mary has chosen what is better, and it will not be taken away from her. I want to give you three thoughts today on this story that we just read. The first is this: Mary is validated and approved for her decision to just simply sit and listen to Jesus' teaching. In week 1, I brought out a passage from the book of Psalms 46:10 that says, be still and know that I am God. It's worth noting that fundamentally, this is where it all begins. I appreciate the thought that we are actually defined as human beings, not human doings. What we do is based on who we are. Secondly, we look at Martha, and for all of Martha's work, for all of her service, for all of her busyness, she is described in this passage as distracted. It's easy to get distracted by the circumstances and the things going on around you that continually seem to take up all of your time and keep you from focusing on the things that are most important. Third and lastly, we see that Martha, not only busy, not only just running around like a chicken with her head cut off, but she actually asks Jesus to reprimand her sister for not helping her. This leads me to another important note. Don't expect everyone around you to appreciate your ability, your want, your agenda to simply be still. No, instead, you're going to find people, they are angry that you will not just join into the chaos with them of running and buying and grabbing and moving and continuing. Instead, they can't figure out why you won't join them on that hamster wheel, running nowhere. The spiritual defense of fundamentals will help you define and decide on the decisions that you make today. I hope today you will take me up on a simple challenge. I want you to go outside. I want you to follow Psalm 46:10. I want you to sit for a moment and be still and know that He is God. Let's see what happens. Thanks for joining us.